Liverpool FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well.
Okay, it's that time again, boys. The Anfield South podcast back at it again. It's your boy Slim, as always. A few fellas with me today. Fellas, introduce yourselves, man.
Chris, back in the building.
What's going on? Shawn here.
Sean's been hiding for a hot minute, man. Bring that thing closer to you, man. You get me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And the substitute, Chris.
Yeah, back again. Hey, we're going to have to drop the substitute, Chris, because
the
real talk. Here. I know this original's here, but you've been here a lot more than him. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen. Let's just leave. Let's just go on with the thing, man. Sure.
You know what I'm saying? We'll have to work that one out. Yeah. But anyway, let's get down to business, man. I don't know what's wrong with my iPad today, brother. It's playing games, man. So I'm using the phone, man. Let's go back in it. Let's go back to Boxing Day. First and foremost, have we all had a good Christmas?
Wonderful Christmas.
Yeah, bro. Let's rewrite. Get
World
me
champions.
good.
Because for me, Christmas isn't special anymore because you got to work on those days in between. It's not like when you were younger for me and you had a couple weeks off. You know what I'm saying?
It did feel a bit different. It did feel. I had like loads of family over, so it was. My house was congested, shall we say?
I do it for my kids, man. You know what I'm saying? Christmas is for my kids, man. But yeah, we all had a good Christmas.
Yeah, man.
We all ate and drank loads.
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, man.
Love that. Yeah. So Boxing Day game was Leicester Liverpool. What to say about that game? 4-0 the final score was.
Yep.
And I don't think the scoreline flatters us at all, man.
Them
Like
man,
we were 4-0 good, weren't we, Shawn?
I was saying more than that, bro. Like, they were lucky to only hold forts, you know what I'm saying? Like, within the first 10 minutes, we should have at least been 2 up.
Yeah, I agree.
But coming into the game, obviously, Leicester were considered, genuine title contenders, sitting second in the league. Players like Vardy, Inform, Maddison, Telsman, all those kind of guys. And, bro, we, like, there's levels to this, innit? You know what I'm saying, bro? And, again, it was such a dominant performance. I thought, Firmino, back to his best. Obviously, got 2. But we all know that the main guy, Trent, will take all the headlines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Trent was special Boxing Day, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I would say in a word, complete the performance was. That was, I think, our best performance of the season. It could easily have been 5 or 6. And we, like, from the front to the back midfield, everybody competed and did their job. It was like a really good performance. I know sometimes I'm a bit nitpicky with performances, and people customers say, but I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I like to. You know what I mean? I like for us to fulfill our potential in every game when we play, and I thought in that game it was. I mean, I've never personally seen Leicester or Chelsea as title contenders, and I think we showed their gap in that game with these levels.
I think the pundits and stuff out there, they want the whole contenders. They want the whole, like,
100%.
Drama. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they're title contenders. Oh, they drop points. They won type thing. So I think it was more the pundits that had Leicester as title contenders. And us as well, we started to look over our shoulder. But I think we looked over our shoulder simply because of what's gone before. Not because Leicester were genuine title contenders, but I think we were just nervous because we've been in this position so many times. And we've let it. I don't even want to say that word.
Don't.
I don't even want to say that word. But stuff's happened, didn't it?
Hasn't worked out the way we wanted it.
Yeah. I'm tired of using the slick word because Gerard, blah blah blah. It's long. But yeah, I don't think they were ever really genuine title contenders.
No, it's just. I mean, I said we schooled them. It was. I sometimes even. I mean, I do it a lot where we underestimate how good we are, and the pace that ourselves and City have set. Teams are not doing that. It's not. It's madness. Even that we're doing. I still can't really wrap my head around it. Was it 27 out of 28?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
nasty number. Last week, myself and Paul, we had the conversation about how we should set up for the Leicester game.
Yeah.
And I was going for the Hendo, Wijnaldum and Milner midfield. But I think it was Paul that was saying he'd happy to see Naby in there. Turns out Paul was, I can't say he was right because I guess it was just our guess. But I will say he's right. And Naby started. His performance in that game wasn't bad, was it?
Yeah, it's good.
Chris, number 2.
Number 2. So, I think you got to start to give him the credit where it's due. I think he kept the ball moving, and it's interesting that Leicester kind of adapted their formation a little. I think they played Maddison wide instead of playing him behind Vardy as they would usually do, because they thought, right, as long as they can kind of nullify it, and it was Naby who kept breaking those lines and making the room so that at least he was now another body in between the midfield and defence, and it just caused them all sorts of problems. So I think he put in a good shift.
Do you think Slim that he's arrived, Naby? I think now, like,
I'm skeptical to say he's arrived because of his injury record. If he can stay injury free, which sounds like a bit of a cop out. If he stays injury free, then yeah, he's arrived. Yeah. But so he's playing. He's the Naby Keita that we signed. He's
contributing now. Before he was a bit
wishy-washy,
lightweight. I mean, I think his talent is there for all to see. But
what's going on with his hairstyle though, man?
Bro, I was gonna say today, I think his missus is cutting his hair.
You know, like when these players come to the league, yeah, like. It's more so with the black players, yeah, because of the style of hair, the type of hair they have. Don't someone just take them and say, yo, listen, this is my brethren Barber X. Like, any problems, he's got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, go on.
Genie must not like him, man, because Genie's got a decent trim.
Because Genie trim's always fresh, isn't it?
I don't feel I could speak on this.
You know what? Yeah, I'm sitting there with 3 bald brothers, innit? Oh my God. Let me take off my hat quickly. Because my trim's fresh, you get me? I just like wearing a hat.
For the record, I am not bald, I shave my hair. Because West Indian barbers take too damn long. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I think, like I said, I wouldn't say he's arrived because, like I said, he needs a bit more time. But for me, he's getting there, and he's contributing, and he's different. He keeps it ticking over, which I like. Breaks lines, can run with the ball, shoot, can put for a through ball.
I mean, in this period, we needed the guys like Naby, the fringe guys, if you like Naby, to step up, because I mean the rotation has been quite heavy in this period, which it needed to be. I mean, yeah, with Fabinho out as well, it's been good that these guys like Naby have come in and been able to hit the ground running, as you like.
Perfect timing, man, with all them injuries, man, we're having. It's
definitely. Like all the injuries, all the games that are coming up. Also, we've playing 3 games in 10 days or something, man. It's like that. So
foolishness, man.
It's been crazy. So yeah, man, Naby did well, man, and I think you touched on it, Chris. You said about Maddison playing inside, like wide. Sorry, I think that's what. Like, thank you, Brendan, because that's what gave Trent all of his joy. Yeah. I mean, because Maddison kept drifting central, didn't he? Yeah. Which left so much space for Trent to do what he does, man. And
I was surprised he did that. I didn't. But that's what we do. We evoke fear in people, man, so they get confused. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say. That's the respect.
Do you know what I mean? They don't know what they're to do with the formations and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? They think if I do this one thing, it's going to stay. It ain't working. There's too many. There's weapons. There's cannons everywhere all over the pitch. Do you know what I mean? So
let me ask you then, Shawn. So what does Brendan write down on his pad? Because surely, if we could see it sitting at home, what was he writing on that pad?
You know, Brendan's always trying to do a madness, bro. Like, he's always trying to just think too much and probably think, you know what, trying to outsmart, you know, set managers and so forth. But again, he did what he did and it backfired like terribly. You know what I mean? Again, 4-0. Again, like I said, he's lucky we didn't beat them like 8-0. So honest to God, because it could have been that scoreline. Seriously, it could have been that scoreline. I mean, that could have been arguably our best performance so far this season.
Yeah, I think so.
And again, like I said, Slim, obviously, like, thanks, you know what I mean?
Is Trent the best right back in the world at the moment?
Offensively,
he's on form. He's the best. I wouldn't say he's the most complete. Offensively, he's still, like today, I think he was more fatigued than his ability to defend, but he got caught out a few times. But going forward, it's not even close. I think the only person that comes close to him or might be better all round at this point in time is Kimmich at Munich. Yeah. He's probably a better all round, but offensively there ain't nothing touching Trent, not even close. Both feet.
I mean, I read a stat that Trent's got the most assists since August 2018.
Yeah, we've seen that as well.
And I saw like the next person like who I'd like compared to Trent offensively is Kevin De Bruyne. He's down there with 12. I mean, even Robbo's got.
No, I think what's name was up there as well. What's his face? Guy from Bournemouth, surprisingly.
Ryan Fraser.
Ryan Fraser, yeah.
I think he had like 17
or something like that. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I'm talking in terms of Trent's offensive capabilities. I prefer to compare it to Kevin De Bruyne with the deliveries, the type of deliveries he puts in. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, when you compare the two, like the amount, the gulf between them and the assist is crazy.
I enjoyed that goal though. I've rewound that thing like 50 times.
What, Trent's the
The
fourth goal?
way he stepped onto it was just
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
1970s Brazil.
It's the way he hits across it.
Yeah.
And it sort of takes a swerve
Around
around the goalkeeper. Like it was a thing of beauty, because I don't know about the rest of you, but I saw that when Mane picked up the ball, I was screaming, slide it to Trent, slide it to Trent, slide it to Trent. And when he slid it, it was the perfect pass.
Wait, everything, and he just walked
The
onto
perfect pass.
Banged it.
Didn't have to break his stride, anything. Wow. Just boom.
I think what was beautiful about it is the way he was also charging into just space.
I
He
love
just
that.
came out of
I
nowhere
love
and he was
that,
just
like,
charging into
just-
space. I was like, look at this, man. This is beautiful.
That just typifies where we're at the minute as a team in terms of our work rate and stuff like that. And this is why we're so far ahead of a lot of teams. It's not just talent. It's that desire. Do you know what I mean? It's heart.
Do you know? I believe we're so far ahead of other teams. I believe our backroom staff do a fucking amazing job, bro. The recovery, the physio, the dietary needs. I think all the planning is so good. I mean, like, the schedule's been so crazy in December, and for a guy like, okay, he's 20. What is he? 21. Trent.
21,
He's
yeah.
a young kid,
Just
but
on 21.
in that game, that late in the game, to be able to do that, get there and hit it and not be fatigued and tired, bro. Like, everything's just right.
Levels, you know what I mean? That kind of
yeah.
energy that late in the game.
I just feel everything has just been set up for them to do their job week in, week out, and I would like to just point out the backroom staff and the job that they do is amazing. I'd love that regime just for my normal life. You know what I'm saying? I would love to be fit. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Vardy didn't get a look in, did he?
No.
I think he had like a half chance, like late on.
Leicester didn't have a shot on target.
Yeah.
That's
All game.
madness.
Whole game. And that's what I like about you. I mean, the guys have already touched on it, but the pundits were kind of like you said, they wanted this. They wanted there to be a competition. Yeah, and I saw a couple of predictions. They were saying, yep, this is where it's gonna definitely come to an end, blah, blah, blah. They hadn't conceded a certain amount of goals at home.
Yeah, they had a good home record, Leicester. I can't remember what it was.
Scoring goals, whatever. So let's be honest. I think a lot of the fan base was quite nervous, right?
Before the game, I would have taken a point.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people were like, yeah, actually, considering the travel, all that, we dismantled them.
Yeah.
And that's what I enjoyed about it.
Yeah.
It's not that we got lucky and we scored at the right time. No, we dismantled them. We were
wasn't close.
all over them. They didn't get a look in.
No,
First
it
half, we
wasn't
were
close.
just passing the ball around and just making them look silly. And that's, to be honest, I enjoyed that.
Well, the thing is, it surprised me because even going back to the game at Anfield, where people are talking about, well, it was a close game. It was not
No,
a
it
close
wasn't.
game. It was
Dismantled
not a
them
close
there.
game. I don't know where people
Yeah.
got that from. It was
Yeah.
not. We should have buried them in that game. We missed
In the
quite.
first half,
Yeah.
like, fully agree.
I think the scoreline made people think it was a
It
close
was
game.
nowhere near a
Nowhere
close
near.
game, and they got dealt with there
But I
as
think
well.
as well, because it went 1-1 as well,
That's
and it
it.
was like a little bit nervy, and then it took a penalty to win it. I guess people read into that, you know what I mean? But
Nah, man, they got. I mean, it just, like I said, there's levels, man. We're
Correct.
showing people over. And you know what I love about this team as well is that they're proving me wrong every week. So when sometimes you might go into a certain game and have one or two doubts, and it's like, why am I doubting these guys? These guys are serious. what, you know what I mean? Slap yourself, Chris. What's going on here? These guys are serious. You know what I mean?
do you know what? I feel you. I feel what you're saying, bro. But me, I'm trying not to get too arrogant
yeah,
with
yeah,
him. You know, like, because you could just be kicked off your perch at any moment. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, whilst I feel you that, inside I feel that, outwardly I'm trying to.
Listen, the next game I'll be doing the same thing, and then by the end of it, I'll be like, what are you worried about? You know what I mean? Every game, man, it's like a ritual now.
I want to talk about the reintroduction of Gomez, because a few weeks back we spoke about the clean sheet thing, and I personally said I'm not bothered with clean sheets as long as we get 3 points. But there was a few other people as well in the WhatsApp group that were concerned that we weren't getting clean sheets. But Gomez has come in, and don't get me wrong, we saw some clean sheets with Lovren. I can't remember which game exactly right now off the top of my head, but we saw some. But we're seeing clean sheets. Is this Joe Gomez back to the Joe Gomez before the injury at Burnley?
Yes, but yes, he was. Even today, he was our best player. For some reason, Jamie Carragher gave it to Trent as man of the match. I didn't see that personally. I thought Gomez was assured, showed pace when he needed to, came forward with the ball really well. He was back to that level. Do you know what I mean? And when he's playing at centre back and he's on his game, it's a scary partnership. Do you know what I mean? Because look at Adama Traore is on there and he didn't get a look in, and that guy is rapid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that shows you how well he defended and stuff like that. I think they've had a few half chances, but like the guy's immense. And when I think we've had, was it four clean sheets in a row?
I don't know.
Something
I
think it's 4 in a row, and I think it's 6 out of the last 7 or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, the proof is in the pudding, man. Since the guy's come in, I think he's the guy that Van Dijk trusts the most, and you can see that in the fact with Van Dijk sometimes when he plays with Gomez, is a little bit more blasé than he usually is, because I think he trusts Gomez a little bit more because he's got the pace and the strength. He's like a baby Van Dijk. Do you know what I mean?
Is that the best partnership, Shawn? Gomez, Van Dijk?
I would say so. I mean, as good as Matip has been, and let's be honest, Matip's been a superb signing. I think that Joe Gomez, I think that ideally he is the centre back like it. I think Van Dijk, I think enjoys playing with side by side. Again, like Chris just said, one thing that he has over the other two is that there's the recovery pace. I think today, like even I think somebody went past, I think Van Dijk even, and again also Gomez came across and also made it in time to make the tackle. But he's back to his best. He was going through a bit of a tough period because he's been in and out of the team, obviously injured, and you can't say it's a blessing that obviously Matip got injured. I don't.
I know. Yeah.
But obviously him coming in, he stepped up and he's looked as good as he was. He's looked as good as he's been since he developed that partnership with Van Dijk. So I think that he's right now, even when Matip comes back, he's got to stay in that team.
Yeah.
When is he due back? That's it.
I think Klopp said all injured parties will be back sort of February, but we'll come to that. Some people would say, that Gomez having to use his recovery pace means he's not at the right place at the right time. Do you see what I mean? In order to recover. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's been out for a while. He's had to wait his turn. If he has to use it, at least it's not led to a goal. Yeah. Is he the best partner right now? He would have to be, because Matip will then have to have a run of games for him to get back into the team and so on and so forth. What I would say about Gomez is he's had to play up against different kind of strikers in the time that he's come back. For me, I think one of the biggest tests was when we played Watford last weekend. Troy Deeney's a beast.
Yeah, he's a handful.
He's a beast. And if you can pass that test without having to always rely on your partner, I think you can now start to see that he's getting... That run of games has made him far more comfortable. Today, like the guys have said, he carried the ball out quite well a couple of times. He did have to make recovery runs, but that wasn't always because of him. I think one of the times it was for Trent, another time it was for Van Dijk. I think he's starting to certainly get back to where he was. So he merits a place, definitely.
But I don't think his positional sense is why he's having to make recovery runs. We play a really high line.
Yeah.
So Van Dijk is always making... It's just the nature of the system that we're playing now. I don't think he's necessarily out of position per se. But even if he was, I mean, there's other strikers in the world defenders in the world that get lauded for that. People that I don't rate as highly as others, but
making tackles.
Sergio Ramos being one of them. He's consistently. That's one of the reasons why he's been sent off 28 times in his career. You know what I mean? People,
man knows the exact number as
no,
well.
Because but that's alarming for anybody to get sent off 21 times, and it's because he's got a really poor, for me, positional sense. But he's always used his athleticism
to get
to compete. But Joe doesn't do that. Joe, we're at the minute he's making recovery runs because we're playing a high line. For me,
it's not something that I'm levying at Joe Gomez. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I have vocally said it before that I like Lovren as a centre back. A lot of people don't like him. You're one of them. I've got no problems with Lovren at a centre back, but I'm not foolish at the same time. I know Gomez is the future, is the prospect, and he's definitely a better defender than Lovren is.
You know what it is with Lovren though? Lovren makes mistakes when he's playing well. That's what he does. He's not necessarily in a bad run of form and he's playing rubbish and then he makes a mistake. He fools you. So he'll be in a good run. He'll have 5-6 games where he's playing well, and then he would just have one game where you're like, what the hell? What? That's why he gets me.
No, I understand that. I understand that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm happy that Gomez is hit hit a purple vein of form and he's doing what he's doing. It's just, I mean, it bodes well. For me personally, I want to see him in the team because, like I said, to me, he's the future.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see anyone else in there. I want him to have that run of games. And because at the end of the day, what is he? Gomez is what, 20 odd as well. So he's the guy that's going to be there longer than your Loverans and even your Matips. I think they're both still quite old. You know what I'm saying? So
He's another one that needs a good trim though, man. He's got that Wolverine thing going on.
who?
With
Gomez.
Gomez,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's his style though, man.
That's not
his
a style, man. That's his style. You know what I mean? Get to the barbers, man. Fade it out, man. You ain't got no excuses.
Man said fade it up. You know, I read a mad stat, that Gomez has not lost a Premier League game since he started at right back against Swansea in a 1-0 defeat in January 2018. Like,
Wow.
Damn.
mad that, isn't it?
Yeah. I would never have guessed that.
No.
So, but he's basically saying whenever he's played in the team, we haven't.
Yeah, kinda. You know what I mean? So
Well, credit to him. He must have some role in that. You know what I mean? But
this team in the records are just.
listen, there's only one.
There's only one left,
concerned,
Of
man.
course,
Let's
of
get that
course,
done.
of course.
Yeah.
But along the way to the big one, we're getting all these little ones, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Bobby Firmino
Bobby.
back at his
There's
best.
something that the Klopp
Well,
don't know.
something I needed to read it, but I'm sure I read that Firmino and Klopp had words about his
Yes.
performance.
Yeah,
I did
I
read
heard
Did any
that.
of you read it? Can
Yeah.
any of you fill us in as to what those words were about?
So, from my understanding, I think Firmino wanted reassurance as to his place in the team because he weren't scoring goals. And Klopp sort of dealt with it, like looked at him like, "You crazy? What do you mean? You're my guy, man. You know what I mean? You don't need to worry about that. You're the conductor. You don't have to worry about. You're not here to score goals." And it's a discussion that we've had before, where I think people get caught up too much in statistics. Sometimes we all do it. He what he gives to the team is almost irreplaceable. Do you know what I mean? It's not always about the through ball. Sometimes it's the pass before the pass or the tackle before the pass before the pass. And this is what Firmino does. So I think Klopp was just trying to say, listen, man, you ain't got to worry. You could go the whole season and not score because I know you'll have a hand in us winning.
But he took his goals well on Boxing Day, didn't he, Shawn?
The touch.
I think we've always said on a podcast before, Slim, that out of the front three, out of Mane, Salah, and Firmino, I think that everybody wants Firmino to stay. If we're gonna sell anybody, then Salah can go, possibly even Mane. But there's people that have said that Firmino, like he's the engine that makes everything tick. You know what I'm saying, bro?
The linchpin. Yeah.
There you go. So but I mean the way he took his goals. I mean that header against Leicester, superb, and the way his second goal, was he top corner. That lovely, you know what I mean?
Because that ball, Chris, it was fired into him, wasn't it? For that fourth,
Yeah,
it
and the way
was
he
fired.
just took, you know what I mean?
Touch.
Killed it dead.
Killed it dead. It was beautiful. And then to be able to put it in the top corner, and it's let's look at it again. Going back to Watford, he's the one who sets up the first goal. I swear that plays the ball over his head, and it wasn't he was trying to clear it.
No,
he was playing it
purposely
to
does that.
none of the other boys can do that. So he is, like you said, the engine that keeps it.
Well, Salah replicated that. In the Leicester game, didn't he? He kicked it over his head.
yes.
Was it Kato and that or Mane? I can't remember which it was.
But
then, yeah. Salah did a madness. But anyway,
Thing is, so everybody knows that Firmino's not going to be a guy who's going to get you 20 goals a season. But it's all the other stuff he does. It's all the intangibles that he has that he brings to the team. That again, like Chris said, people as good as Mane and Salah are, and let's be honest, like they're both great players. But it's the little things that they can't do, you know what I mean? So that's hence why he really gets dropped, and why you see again, like even though he was going through a bit of a bad run,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Steps up.
It was because it was quite nice because I was a bit baffled at first. Like he scores the fourth goal, I think it is, and he runs up to Klopp and he's jumping and he's celebrating with Klopp. So I wrote that down. I was like, Firmino celebrating with Klopp. But obviously now hearing about the article, hearing about the little chat they've had, obviously, you know, it must have been a bit like, look, thank you, boss.
Relaxing.
But I've scored, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Relaxing,
you know what I'm
man.
saying? And I don't know about anyone else, but I quite like that, the bond that all the players have with Klopp. You know what I'm saying? And how he is probably one of the best managers I've seen in my time. Like, when it comes to football management.
I think it comes down to us being like a decent human being. I think a lot of times, like for example, I don't know Mourinho, but you get the impression that you're a tool in his box for him to get the job done. You're not necessarily, whereas Klopp comes across as, I'm gonna look after you. If we can play some football too, then we'll play some football too. I mean, that is a difference in it, and I think the people recognise that and they want to play for him.
He comes across as being very loyal, like a very loyal person. I mean, there's players in our team that I think that if they were other teams, they would have been so long ago. Lots of Lallana.
Who? I thought you said Ronaldo. I had to check. Sorry.
The likes of Lallana, even Dejan Lovren. You know, something like that. Who's in the past has had so many errors. You probably think, you know what, like,
let me just get rid of him.
You know what I mean? And he's stuck with them. And I'm not saying that Lovren now should also get a start in the team, but you must admit, like Esslin, that when Matter's been out and Lovren and Gomez has been struggling, when Lovren's come in, he's done well. So.
And that's 100% down to Klopp and the way he handles people that are not in the starting 11 and blah blah blah. Everyone comes in as chomping at the bit, bro.
And even he said it himself. I think he did an interview in the last couple of weeks, and he was saying, "I keep in touch with all the ex-players. They've all got my
Really?
He said they've got my number. If they want to contact me,
what is that down Liverpool and BVB?
And Dortmund and all that. So
Wow.
I was just like, that tells you he was happy to maintain relationships, even. Takumi, he's gone and spoken to Kagawa, and he was like, I'm thinking of going there and blah blah. He's like, yep, definitely. And what was the pull? We would hope it and believe it's Liverpool, but it was Klopp.
It's not. It's Klopp. Klopp's definitely a big draw for Liverpool
because
right now.
the money's that everybody's got money now. There's a lot of big clubs about. We can't be arrogant enough to think that it's just because of Liverpool. Sometimes people want a nice working environment. You know what I mean? And you've got the combination of Klopp and then the fan base and stuff. They know what kind of treatment they get. You know what I mean? Especially if you do the business on the pitch, it's perfect scenario for somebody to walk into. Especially something like Minamino, who is you can tell he's a Klopp player.
Yeah.
Just one last thing on the Leicester performance. Does the win over Leicester really show how big the gap is between us and the rest of the league?
Oh, because we've done it over 2 games, I'd say yes. We played Leicester twice, and as far as I'm concerned, they were never going to win either one. They didn't come close to winning either one. It's not trying to be cocky. It's just there are certain teams and styles. Like, I knew the Wolves game was going to be difficult because they're traditionally, their style of play, they pass the ball as well as we do. And that was going to be a tricky game. Leicester tried to counter, but you can't counter punch the best counter punchers in the business. do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're Mayweather out here. This is the truth. Do you know what I mean? That's what you look at the way they play. They rely on, first of all, we probably got the fastest backline in the business. And secondly, we're capable of switching our game up. So if you want to play counter, we just keep the ball. Especially with Cater's in there. Keep the ball. And if you counter on us, you better make it stick. Because if we get the ball back, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, you counter punch with little check hook, bang. You're out like Ricky Hatton.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's the truth though.
God bless Ricky. He tried.
He tried.
Oh shit. Well, all right, cool. So yeah, man, just a overall a great, mature, dominant, controlled performance against Leicester, I'd say.
Brilliant.
I wasn't going to ask you lot man of the match, but it's just pointless because Trent, any of you that say anyone other than Trent, I'd have to have you down. You know what I'm saying?
It was probably one of his best games in a Liverpool shirt. It was just
100% with
start to finish.
With the Mbappe celebration.
I'm telling you,
it's quality.
It's coming, man. It's coming.
All right, let's move on to today's game then. We played Wolves at home. Final score 1-0. 1-0.
All the smiles gone. You see that? All the smiles
gone. Yeah, because
we won, but smiles gone.
It was a slog in that game.
Yeah,
and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean it was a slog in the sense that Wolves were all on top over us, but they did make it hard. Their block was set. They had that 5-man midfield, and it was kind of difficult for us to break them down. I think Klopp slightly changed it today. He went for Lallana instead of Naby Keita, but he sort of played a 4-2-3-1, I think I'd say. Yeah, with Bobby in like a number 10 role, if you like. Mane one side, Lallana the other. And for the first few minutes, it looked quite fruitful. It looked like Salah might get a couple goals today because he had that chance, like again.
Yeah, early.
Yeah, early. I think he whipped. I think is it Trent that whips it in.
Yeah,
whips it in, and it's a near post, and it just goes up. And I was like, oh man.
I think he wanted to make more changes, but I think because of our injuries at the minute,
He said in his pre-game interview, he said he would have Shaqiri would have started, but he suffered a muscle injury, didn't he, or something like that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So Leo's favourite guy. You know what I'm saying?
oh, he's got a vendetta. I know he thinks I got a vendetta against Winnie, but
big up Leo. Yeah,
definitely don't like Shaq for some reason. I don't know why, but he's I like Shaq. I like he's it's unfortunate he's been injured so much because you can tell he's a good person around he seems to be a good person around the dressing room, and he's bought in like everybody else. You know, he's not complaining. He could be because he can go. He's got a name for himself. He can go and play somewhere. Do you know what I mean? But he's willing.
Yeah.
He's got a lot to get injured though, man. He's a short, stocky lad, bro.
I think sometimes that makes it worse when you're like muscularly developed like that. I think sometimes it's easier to pick up injuries.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. You've got a lot to get injured in that sense. You know
But
what
I
I'm
think
saying?
it also shows you the level, like you've been saying. When he was at Stoke, he wasn't getting injured like this.
No.
I don't remember. Obviously, we weren't watching them as much, but he seemed to be always playing.
Every
always
game.
the star man. He's not that for us. Every minute, it's a little niggly injury here and there. We put in the work, like you said. The backroom staff, Klopp makes us work, and then they get looked after. But you have to adjust.
100%. But so yeah, it was kind of a different formation today, but we have to talk about it first, and we have to talk about VAR, innit? It's mad because it's
I thought we were done with this last week.
I know it's mad, yeah, because we are a Liverpool podcast. Let's have it right, but VAR is dominating a lot of football.
Yeah.
Like generally, I mean, in a lot of games, I think it's ruled out like 22 or 23 goals so far this season.
Shocking stat, man.
And I mean, it was a tremendous pass from Van Dijk to Lallana, and Lallana did well because he's not the biggest, and he was in between two big central defenders. Manages to, what we now know, well, we knew at the time, it came off his shoulder to Mane. Mane starts it in the corner. I mean,
I don't like it. It is technically, like, if you go by the rules of what they've set up, the decisions are correct. I'm not a fan of it personally. I'm not a fan of ruling somebody offside for an eyelash. Do you know what I mean? It's
becoming that ridiculous though, isn't it?
It's mad this out. But don't get me wrong. And if there are any fans, supporters of any rival clubs watching this podcast, I genuinely don't give a shit how you win. But I don't necessarily like it. I think it kind of spoils the game a bit. But if we get another 20 and we end up winning the league, I don't care. The 30 years of hurt, man. Seriously, it's gone out the window for all that.
I hear that and I agree with you because I don't particularly like it. But today's one, again, it almost felt a little bit ridiculous. I understand that with us when we played against Villa in the league, Bobby scores a clean goal. It happens to us. We had to accept it. Everyone was bantering. So today we should be like, you know what? We were on the positive side for us. We move on. I just, for it to be that tight, I don't know. It gave us the right decision, but
let's say we should be clear about it. Under the rules, that the correct decisions are being made. I think it's just against the spirit of the game. Yeah, so I think I read somewhere today where somebody was saying it's killed the last minute winner forever for some reason. They reckon,
you know what I mean? Because you can't actually celebrate, can you, Shawn, until you know that VAR has cleared the goal. It's mad.
No, at all. I mean, of course, I'm glad that obviously the goal that Wolves scored didn't stand. But again, you look at like obviously the decision being made. I mean, like it's his palm. That's obviously ruled the goal out, and rather than obviously the victory being the headline is VAR. I mean, you saw after the game Conor Cody even speaking and say that okay, VAR is in, but nobody likes it. It's not working. You know what I mean? So
he was very upset, Cody, wasn't he?
He was fronting, man. He's a Liverpool fan. He was just he had to do that to make it look like.
I agree with you, Chris.
He's probably got his Liverpool shirt underneath his Wolves shirt.
I mean, what were they even complaining about? They said that Van Dijk handled it.
Yeah, that was their complaint, that Van Dijk handballed it in the.
But that's where it's getting people. It's making people petty because they're. I get it. People are literally going to, because it's so the margins of error are so fine. People are going to nitpick over everything. Like for me, you can't score a goal with your hand.
Facts.
So the fact that you can't be offside.
The line wasn't with his hand though. I don't think. I think the line was with his foot.
Was it his foot?
I think it was with his foot. It was with his foot, and I think it was like a hair's breadth away. Like he was a hair breadth. Do you want my honest opinion? I was like, give them the goal.
Yeah, and I thought it was a goal because
I was like,
because it was poor. It was tired, lazy defend, not lazy, but tired defending.
Exactly.
So they deserved it.
Two reasons. Those two reasons. The reasons you said, it was bad from our point of view. Yeah, I mean, Lallana in the first place, he worked so hard to actually get the ball, wins the ball.
Kick it away, man.
Just kick it out. Just kick it. You'd rather a throw-in than a corner.
That stuff is infuriating to me.
So kick it. He doesn't kick it. They win another corner. And then the defending is just like a little bit Keystone copy. I mean, the ball gets played behind us, and it passes literally the whole back four. Yeah. And then he's just there, edge of the box, wham, bottom corner.
We look tired. We look tired. That just looked like...
The thing is, we might have been a bit tired, but I don't... That's mad. I don't have sympathy for you being tired. I said it before on there. Tired is what I am right now. Knowing that it's like 10:05 and I've got to get up at 6:30 tomorrow morning and go to work and not get home until 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. That's fucking tired, mate. Running around a football pitch for 90 minutes one day and then doing it 2 days later, no, I'm not having that.
And Wolves played on Friday.
You know what I'm saying? And Wolves had a day less than us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not having the fatigue thing. Yeah, you get paid handsomely enough to know that once you finish playing that game, you don't actually have to do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
no, that's fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not having the fatigue thing. Like, forget all that.
Not for the way that goal was conceded. I
No.
think later on in the game,
Yeah,
we looked,
after a time running around, then cool, I can take. Obviously, everyone's going to get tired, but no. So I was like, let the goal down well stand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I feel like in games we need to kick up.
Can I ask you a question, Joe Slim? You're saying that, is that because you wanted to to look at things in the spirit of the game, or because that you know that we're so good, we're probably going to come back and score again?
You know what? You know what? Both.
Because if we were worse, if it was back in Hodgson's day, I'd be like, fuck, you know what I mean? We're taking everything you can keep. But there's always something in the back of my mind right now that says, if they score, we're going to score again.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it's both. Because, like I said, back to the VAR thing, I just feel like it's getting so petty. The advantage is not with the striker anymore or anything like that. It's taking away goals from the game. So it's taking away excitement. I mean, look how long it took for them to say Mane's goal was a goal.
Yeah, it was madness.
Did you hear what he said? If the whistle was blown before the ball hit the back of the net,
then
they couldn't have overruled it. VAR couldn't have overruled it.
Stupid.
So it would have stood as a disallowed goal. What the fuck?
Similar sort of thing in the Spurs game with, I don't know if we watched that, with the Pookie goal. Where man's on side, man. Stop it. It's just it's getting ridiculous to the point you can't be ruling. Before, I think it was supposed to be done. Offside was going to be looked at, giving the attackers the advantage because we want to see goals. And I think Souness, said today, I'm not a big fan of his, but he said something which made sense. He said that we're in the entertainment business. People go to watch games. People love football because of the entertainment factor. If you take too much away from it with some of these ridiculous like millimeters and stuff like that, it's just, do you know what I mean?
Crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So yes, again, boys, VAR dominating the headlines for that game.
This season just needs to follow through all the way to May. It needs to finish. They can't just try and stop it. Like, look, let's just revolt. Everybody just because that's what I worry about. Everybody's like, you know what? Let's just not play any more games, and then we're gonna be stuck with it again. You know what I mean? Let's just see out the season. Make sure that you know what I mean.
They can do what they want, man. I make my own trophy and go to Liverpool with it. I'm telling you, I will not be denied. I'm telling you.
Finish the season. Finish this season
in my dining room.
Ping. Finish this season.
Yeah, it definitely needs tweaking, boy. Adam Lallana, Shawn, talk to me about Lallana, man. Talk about his performance today.
You know Lallana's always going to come in slim. He's always going to put a shift in. He's always going to work hard. He's going to press. He's going to do all that stuff. But I think in this game, I can see why he started. Also, the injury, Shaqiri also being out. Naby Keita, as good as he's been playing slim, obviously, you know that we've got to deal with him
he's been
delicately,
like Mr.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? So I can see why he started, but I mean, I wasn't impressed by his performance personally. I mean, I know he got the assist for the Mane goal, but other than that, Slim, let's be honest, what did he really do? I mean, you said, Slim, that he was at fault for the goal that Wolves scored. So you know what I'm saying. Also with a stupid, obviously foul that he couldn't see, that he gave away. You know what I mean? So
that was wild.
So again, I don't know what he was thinking there, but he's a man to me, Slim, like that you bring on the last 20 minutes of a game just to come and just run about and obviously your fresh legs and whatnot. But
he reminds. Like, I coach kids football, innit? So there's always that one kid in every age group, who is not quite at the levels of the team that, for the team, but he's enthusiastic, he tries hard.
Yeah.
So, you bring him on and he does bits like, that's what Lallana reminds me of, man. That kid that runs around the playground hard. You know what I'm saying? For that 20 minutes, boop, go. Like, there was one bit, it was one point, right, where I saw Lallana. The ball, it was kind of a 50-50 ball. He ran to get it. He actually got there first, won the ball, but where he was so like, he lost the ball to himself, and then the dude tackled him, and I was like, oh, Adam, man. Like,
that man does not warrant a starting place in his team, like, man. So
the thing is, I got it, though. I mean, like I said, because of the injuries, I get why I saw his name, and I was like, it's a natural reaction is to go, you know what I mean? But I calm down. He's like, we've got injuries. Calm down, Chris. He had to come in at some point, but what's frustrating, before we started rolling, I said the frustrating thing for me with Lallana is that he's obviously very gifted. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I said it to you, Chris. He's a two-footed midfielder, and the's not many of them in the league.
Guy, but he has the vision of Stevie Wonder, man.
Oh, that's harsh. Oh, that's harsh.
This guy, seriously. He's like he's playing in pitch black conditions and he can't see no one. I don't know what all he can see is a Cruyff turn. He's like Michael Jackson, when he did that Smooth Criminal and his spotlights on him and he's spinning on the circle. That's Lallana. Look up, man. Switch on the rest of the lights. Light a candle. Start a bonfire. Do something, man. See something. God damn it. This guy, man, he's frustrating. Like I said, I've seen him do stuff like receive the ball in a half turn in full motion, at full speed, and not break sweat. The guy is gifted. He's probably one of the, technically gifted players in the league, but without the vision and to make use of that ability, then it's pointless. You're just running around, running into people. Do you know what I mean? Like,
all right.
So you got a bucket on your head or something.
I thought that he was quite solid today, because for me, he has to come in and do a particular job. He is gifted, and I agree with you. The fact that he can play with both feet, but I think Liverpool have moved on from the time that he turned up. Definitely. But has he moved on? I don't think he has. Right?
He's been the same way since he's 16.
Right.
Yo, right. In that shot when you're talking, like people won't be able to see, but Shawn and Chris were not yes, no, like in unison, bruv. Like that was sick. Go on, Chris.
He hasn't moved on, so he still does the same things that, to a degree, he was doing to stay in the team when initially Klopp came and whatever the reason why we bought him from Southampton. He hasn't moved on. So to me, he's just a body that when you are under pressure, you should be able to give it to him, and he could Cruyff turn, boom, play it to the next person.
It's nuts though. His style of play, it's almost as though he's been playing by himself for most of his career, and they dropped him into a team at 25. So he's never been used to playing with other people. And then they just dropped him in, and he's just like, or panic. You know what I mean? Look, players, who am I passing it to? Or like the whole 22 men on the picture wearing the same colour kit.
Saying he's colourblind.
He don't know who he's passing to. He can't find a target, man. He's just, and the thing is, like I said, it's frustrating because he's the guy's talented. So when he will do a beautiful piece of take the ball down on the half turn and Cruyff and then or Lallana it, and then and then go and then he passes it to the opposition. You're like, okay, bro, I see what he's doing then.
No, I think even though I've said a few harsh words about Lallana, I agree with you. I do think he was solid today, and I thought he was brought in to do a job, which he did well enough.
Yeah.
But he did make some vital mistakes at some vital times for me, and I just feel like had he have not assisted that goal, I'd be on here slating him just even harder. You see what I mean? Yeah. Because like Shawn said, like he gives away the free kick. He gives away the foul. After the goal, he gives away a foul, gets booked yellow card for it, if I'm correct, yeah? And they have that free kick, which leads to the corner. Then after the first corner, he could clear it, doesn't, gives them a second corner. Then we concede the goal. So it's a whole madness.
It is a mess.
It's a whole madness.
But you know what that is, Slim, though? That's high talent, low IQ. That's what that is. Seriously, he's got loads of
Merchandise
talent.
coming soon.
I'm telling you. He just hasn't got the speed of thought to match his ability. And there are other players who are less gifted, not as quick, but they're better all-round players because their brain is. Do you know what I mean? If you look at somebody like Zidane, he's probably one of the worst athletes to play football. He's not the most athletic guy you'll ever see, but his brain is ticking over at a rate that is several times quicker than most players on the pitch. So he's thinking it's chess. You know what I mean? Lallana's playing checkers with a I don't know what he's playing with, his stones or something. I don't know what he's playing with, but Klopp is a chess guy. You know what I mean? And Lallana's just the extra piece on the board, not doing nothing.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is last season anyway. I'm pretty sure that I read somewhere that he's that. Well, I think I read somewhere that he's gone at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, that he's gone.
Yeah.
So
He cannot stay with the way this team is moving.
not at all.
He can't. He hasn't even got the legs. He got substituted today and he was blowing.
Yeah, he was.
He was blowing.
He was blowing.
Nah, he doesn't have the athleticism for this anymore, man.
And plus, I don't think we've got Nivea adverts anymore. So
No.
Oh shit.
there's no need for it.
So what we saying? We think his time at Liverpool's is definitely coming to an end.
I hope so. Because like I said, I don't want to get to that time where you just start hating the guy,
Him.
like,
Yeah,
you know what I
because
mean?
right now it's banter with us and Lallana.
Yeah,
at the
I know.
moment. It's banter, and if I'm honest, I don't mind him.
Yeah.
He's not like my first choice player, but I don't mind him, and I think it would be nice for him to bow out on a Premier League winners
Don't
medal.
say it.
No,
Don't.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because it's a possibility.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if he bowed
If he
out
did,
on that. Do you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Adam, for all you done. You know, the Saints could probably do with your help because they're struggling down there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if he does go, he goes, in it. But, you know, like I said, he set up the goal today. Can't complain. You guys said it already. The performance today, we looked a bit tired towards the end. And I think, all right, I give you that. But I feel like we controlled the game quite well because, I mean, obviously they were one that Wolves were a bit upset with the goal and stuff like that. And with it at 1-0, they brought on their speed star. Adama Traore defies the laws of physics, a bit like Akinfenwa. Guys as big as Shawn shouldn't be able to run that fast.
Like, the thing is, he's actually built like a 100-meter runner. So if you look at 100 meters runners, they're built for short bursts.
He's too big. He's bigger than a 100-meter runner.
Bigger than that.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? I get it. 100.
The power. But he looks even bigger than that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But we, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure Shawn will give a run for his run. You get me? Yeah, boy. Adama, if you're listening, you get me? Come down there, you get me? Our guy, Incredible Bolt, show you strength. You get me? No, I'm playing. No, but he came on and originally he came on, he went on Wolves right, our left. Is that what you thought?
Because, listen, whenever we played him, I don't think he's had a great game against us before. But with somebody that quick, man, it's just anything.
He's better now than when we played them last season at Molineux.
Definitely.
No, is it Molineux? Is that where they play? Yeah. Oh, I fucking forgot that. Yeah, he's better, 100% better. So I was more worried today than I was last season. But
we played him well because I think we doubled up on him as soon as he got the ball and he had nowhere to go.
Then he switches to the right.
Yeah.
And we kind of doubled up. I don't know if you noticed, Mane actually went over that side as well. Yeah. Mane swapped over, went over that side.
I think that must have been in the discussion before the game that what was going to happen if he played or he came onto the pitch. But because he depends on his pace more than guile to get past players. I think it's a little bit easier if you just cut off them avenues. So if you keep him close to the touchline, you can either push him out with the ball, but as long as you don't allow him to get past you. I think it was because he was almost like. He was like, what's the word of it? Telegraphing sort of like what he was going to do, sort of. Yeah. So it's obvious what he was trying to do. Get it on his left and sprint.
But that's big respect, though, isn't it, Chris? The fact that we changed, not shape, but moved around personnel for him. That's big respect, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to, because I think they had always decided that that's what they were going to do. They showed no ambition. Let's be honest. We say that we controlled the game, but what was there to control? We were just kind of playing it at the back because the block was solid. You know, we were trying to tempt them to come on, press us a little bit, and then we'll be brave enough to just kind of go through them, but it just wasn't happening. But with him, The moment he came on the pitch, you saw Mane just 10 yards back. Like, then he went to the other side because I think we then brought on Origi to go to the left to them say, like, you cover that side, Mane, you take this side, and you just got double up. But let's be honest, that last 10 minutes, Trent was having a tough time, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of diagonal balls, and Trent seemed to be getting caught.
Like he was stuck
was
in mud.
outside of the attacker a lot, and I was confused as to why he didn't tuck in. And like, even if he's closer to the centre back than usual, because you like to have a certain distance between your full back and your centre back. If he was closer than usual, I just felt like, why wouldn't you just tuck in and be the right side of the attacker?
Yeah,
it was mad.
And there was a couple of times where he got beaten.
Yeah,
and he just seemed to stop. He didn't continue to try.
I said this last week.
And I was thinking, what? Why did you stop? Keep on.
Yeah.
Put pressure on.
I said this last week.
I remember.
He gets nutmegged or beat, and he seems
Just
to stop,
jogging
jog back. Not like most people get nutmegged, and I don't want him to be rash and lash out or foul,
But run back and
but run
pressure.
back to
Pressure.
try pressure and try to get goal
Robertson
side.
does that. If he gets beaten, he's on you,
Yeah.
and he causes you to maybe
Yeah.
mishit the ball out. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
stuff like that. But he just seemed to like, oh, well, he's got me, and then stop. He done it about two.
Yeah.
I think at least twice today, and I was thinking,
Yeah.
what? It's a bit strange. I don't know, but I said he's 20. He's 21, so you know.
Yeah, he'll learn.
He's got to learn. He's got to learn, because it's not always he's going to be up attacking and having the freedom of Anfield to do whatever he likes, or the freedom of the what's it called? The Walker Stadium? Is that what was it called?
The King Power.
King Power, that's it. There you go. The King Power Stadium to do whatever the hell he likes. Sometimes it's defensive duties.
Well, that's the thing. I think because he's down on the team sheet as a right back, but he's not a right. He starts in midfield. He's an extra midfielder. He doesn't play a right back. That's why he gets caught out on the right so much. Is that after time he's tracking back. He's like a midfielder running back. Do you know what I mean? Tracking back. He doesn't start. He's never in defence.
No.
What were you going to say, Chris?
And if we're gonna have it right, when we played Leicester, we wasted chances. We could honestly sit here and say, you know what, it could have been 6-7. Right? Today, if if Wolves take their chances, they score about 3 or 4.
Did a couple of half chances.
No, we don't agree with that.
No, I don't think they had Wolves that many clear-cut chances.
So.
I don't remember many clear-cut chances for them, if I'm honest.
The last 10, I think they had at least 3.
No.
Yeah, but they weren't. They weren't clear cut.
Clear cut where he should have scored. I don't think so. I think they had chances. I mean, they had the ball, and they were moving it about, but there was a lot of blocks from us. I think Gomez had a great block before Adam Lallana came off.
He's
great. I'm saying so.
The one I'm thinking of definitely was Trent got beat, and the guy should have probably gone across to the far side, and he went near post and hit it side netting, and I'm thinking, come on, man, they hit a couple over and stuff. But you're right, they weren't clear cut, but
don't get me wrong, I was just they were like, might have been 1-on-1s where I was sitting down there nervous. I was like,
Van Dijk's one was that was a
mistake.
Mess.
Yeah, his mistake.
That was his casual. He was casual to a point where it was just like, I'm not even gonna.
That was beyond my heart.
Someone in the Green Anfield South group said, he got bored, so he wanted something to do.
It looked like it. Seriously, that was probably. It just seemed like he was like, go have a chance. I'm like, what you doing, bro? Do you know what I mean? I know we're like 14 points ahead, but you know, let's crush their position, man. Let's get no lighting, man. Let's be like a Lallana training room, man. No lighting there. You can't see shit. Not letting anybody in there. You know what I mean? But that way, but you know, he's Van Dijk, so he's great. So he gets away with. He's allowed to get away with that every once in a while. But you know what I mean? So no big deal.
So yeah, obviously winning that game 1-0, hard fought game, as we're just saying. Like, Wolves were good defensively. So the lead at the top now is we're 13 points clear of second place.
With a game in hand.
With a game in hand. Shawn, can we lose it from here?
Listen, we've seen in sports team that anything is possible. Where we've seen it happen before, like years back, even with Newcastle. I think Newcastle were 10 points clear, and they lost it also to the scum. And also we've done it as well, like with 3 games to go, and also we've lost it. So anything can happen, but you just gotta think, still, like, if the way that we're playing and with the players that are coming back, with no Ox, with no Matip, what's his name, sorry, the Japanese guy,
Minamino,
him coming in, you know what I mean, and just the way that we've been playing, and you can see like the team chemistry, the cohesion, and just having Klopp being an X factor. You gotta think that if we were to let this slip, Slim, like,
don't please.
I don't
like
see
when
it.
you know what I mean.
I think
seriously,
I think I give up following football if that happens.
You know
I said that already. I said I'm done.
I think I'm finished.
If we let this slip.
Yeah,
Listen,
I think
I'm
I'm
going
finished.
watching curling or something like that.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm gonna go to golf.
Allow it.
I'm gonna go to golf.
But I can't say. I just think I think January is a big month. We got like a back-to-back.
This is
Tottenham.
This is the thing. As soon as you lead me onto it nicely, Chris, with all the injuries and Klopp saying players aren't due back until sort of February, do we go out in January and do we buy?
I would definitely look Slim to go and buy centre back.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, didn't we recall that guy? Is he a German guy?
Phillips.
Yeah,
That's
Phillips.
it.
Yeah,
But I did read that it's only going to be short term.
Yeah,
That's
gonna go
a
back.
short-term recall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I would definitely look to go and buy centre back because, as good as our centre backs are, they're very injury prone. Mattis out again back in February.
Koulibaly.
Boy, that'd be a dream signing. Koulibaly.
That's a big signing
but
for
that's-
January.
Listen, lock it up. Didn't Van Dijk come in January?
Yeah, he did,
Yeah.
but we wanted him from the summer though, didn't we?
So yeah.
bit different.
So
Right.
I would look to go and get a centre back Slim personally. That's
Is that it? Is that the only place you'd look to strengthen him?
personally, yeah.
Yeah.
I think because scoring goals is not a problem. We can score goals for fun. But this season we haven't been as solid as we were last season.
Mhm.
And I think just going out, just get another centre back could also just shore up things at the back. You know what I mean?
I'm
So
just worried about the frailty in midfield because we got Fabs out and Henderson's been known to pick up an injury, and Kate is he's on his baby hard food diet. He's not quite there yet, but I'm worried about his fitness as well. So I think Minamino will probably come in and, like I said, he can play 4 positions, so he'll probably cover a lot of that. But it's a difficult one because you don't want to buy players just for the sake of buying them. They should be genuine targets.
Yeah, we should want them. We should want them.
Yeah, I think the games are a little bit more spread out in January than they were in December.
But sorry, Chris, regarding Minamino, do you think that he's gonna come in and play like straight off the bat?
Yes, I think because we haven't got a choice. Normally I would say no, but given the fixture pile up in December leading into January, and given the injuries we've got to Fabinho,
I don't think he comes in straight away.
Because because you look at when we had Robertson, we bought Robertson and we bought Fabinho.
No, I agree.
It took them a hot minute for them to even get.
Yeah,
to
that's
the
what I
team,
mean.
you know
So
what I
in
Precisely that. He doesn't come in for that precise reason that he needs to be. Every player needs to be bled into a team, no matter whether you're Liverpool, Man City, but right. You need to be drip fed into the team. You can't. I don't believe you can just come and hit the ground running.
and I agree with you in normal circumstances.
I just feel like the rotation so far has been good enough for us to cope. Minamino doesn't need to come in straight away as cover. He needs to come in and find his feet. So I feel he comes in, possibly the Everton game, he gets a cameo.
Yeah.
I don't think he starts. I think he gets a cameo.
Right.
The only thing that changes that for me, 2 things. One, like I said, the injury list, and 2, Salzburg play a very, very, because he's a Ranić disciple as well. You know, that German guy, and
Yes.
Mane. So he's familiar with our style anyway. That and the injuries means that I think for the first time you might see something a bit different. If Fabinho and all that were all fit, then I think you guys would be right and he wouldn't come in. But because of the injuries and because he's familiar with our type of football anyway, Klopp alluded to it. Klopp said he's used to counter pressing. So he's not somebody you have to teach how to play that way. And that's the reason why most of the players have been slowly bled into the team, because they're not familiar with that. Minamino is Salzburg play exactly the same way we do, not at the same standard, but they played exactly the same way we do.
Fair enough. I just want to touch on a couple more things because it's nearly that time, boys. Time flies when you're having fun, boy.
But Slim, can I just?
Yo, you want to jump on that? Yeah, sure, Chris, man. Come on, man.
What's your thoughts about players in January? Do you think we need fresh blood?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm a no for the players in January. I think the harmony in the team's good. Klopp's seems to have the rotation thing down well enough for us to cope. In order for us to cope, we have enough centre backs at the club who I think would be better placed to come in if there was a problem than if we bought somebody. Like, unless you did say someone like Koulibaly, then
I
I'm
think
good.
you'd be getting someone of the ilk of
They-
Clavan, to be honest.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you can't get a fifth centre back who's going to
Of
be
class.
levels.
No, not just going to prepare to sit on the
You'd be
bench.
getting a Clavan. So.
But anyway, just quickly, because the next game coming up we have is who do we have? Sheffield United at home,
In a second.
which is going to be a tough game because we know Sheffield United already are like bloody
Quality
bricks.
team, man.
They're doing all right. They lost today to City 2-0, but I'm sure, I haven't watched the game yet, but I'm sure they made a good account of themselves.
I think they're dipping a little bit though.
Maybe they might be struggling with the
Little
pace
bit,
because they're not used to it, but Hey,
A lot of tough games,
first season in the Premier League, and what are they at the moment? Like 5th or 6th or something like that.
No,
Like,
they don't. I love the way they play. I love their enthusiasm and their energy. Great team.
that's going to
Can't
be
remember what their coach's name, but shout out to
Chris Wilder. Yeah.
He's
That's
top.
going to be a tough game. But after that, we have Everton in the cup. Now, my one question, to keep the answers brief, boys, would you sacrifice the game against Everton for the greater good to rest players and obviously stay strong in the league?
Hell to the yeah.
100%.
Hell to the I wouldn't go as far as say I don't care, but I don't care. Like I said, we made it clear many occasions. I want the league. I want the league and Champions League double.
Is that Chris? Is that despite the record we have against Everton? They haven't beat us at home for the longest time. It's been like a long time.
Nobody wants to lose to their little brother. Nobody. Do I want to sacrifice it though for the greater good? I think, yeah, you've got to. It's unfortunate, but I think you have to.
Shawn's nodding his head.
Well, listen, you know in this game he's not going to play a full strength team. So let's be honest. If Everton beat us, I mean, again, like Chris said, no one wants to lose to a little brother. But we all know that a full strength Liverpool team and a full strength Everton team, there's no competition. You know what I'm saying, Slim? So to answer the question, 100% play the kids in the FA Cup. We lose is what it is. It's a learning experience for the kids. You know what I mean?
And let me say one thing: if they were able to come and do us and whatever, and little brother wins, they go on. Unless they win that, I still don't want to hear a peep, because you know what? If it gets ended, they're gonna have to hide anyway. Yeah. If 30 years gets ended, they'll have to hide anyway. So have that little one. It's the greater good, that bigger picture. Let's carry on. Let's carry on.
Fair enough. All right, boys. Fair enough. Well, boy, it is that time, innit, man? Like I said, boy. I mean, it's time to wrap it up. But we'll be back next week as usual. You know what I'm saying? I've been your boy Slim. Today we've had Chris with us.
Chris, I didn't say Chris.
It's all right.
You know what? I've decided what I'm going to call you. You're Chris number 5, Champions League number 5. You're Istanbul Chris. Yeah? You know what I'm saying? Yeah?
No, it's,
And you could be Madrid Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's good to be back, man. Hopefully I can get a few more this month. But yeah, Chris, nice to see you.
Shawn with us as well.
Yeah, Shawn, thanks for having me.
And we've had Madrid Chris with us as well.
Thank you very much.
Nah, peeps. Until the next time, man. We out, man. Peace.
I think they should stick to playing football. Terrible. What do you think, Kenny?
Oh, yeah.